My house was always messy. No matter how much I cleaned, it stayed cluttered. Things disappeared, rooms felt heavy, and I blamed everything except the real cause. But it wasn't about time or space or storage hacks. It came down to two brutally simple fixes, and once I saw them, I couldn't unsee them. What followed wasn't just a cleaner house, it was a quieter mind. Stick around because this story might just shift the way you see your home forever. When organized chaos became a lifestyle, there was this weird sense of pride I used to carry. Like, yeah, it's a mess, but it's my mess. I knew where things were, even in the chaos. Or so I thought. The problem was, I didn't. I'd waste minutes, sometimes hours, looking for receipts, spare keys, a charger, scissors. Always the scissors. And in those moments, the illusion of organized chaos fell apart. Completely. I blamed everything: work, stress, lack of storage, too many people under one roof. But not once did I look at the systems I built, or rather, the lack of systems. Truth is, I was living reactively, always reacting to clutter, never really confronting it. And this reactionary lifestyle, it spilled into everything else. My time, my mood, my health, my relationships. You know that feeling where the space around you feels like it's pressing down on your chest? Yeah, that. And the irony? I thought having more options, more stuff, more backups meant I was being prepared. In reality, I was just building walls between myself and a peaceful life. The clutter wasn't just physical, it was mental static. It hummed in the background of every moment, stealing energy I didn't even know I was losing. One chair, just one. I remember this one evening. There was a chair in the corner of the bedroom. Soft brown leather, slightly scratched. It used to be a reading chair. It was beautiful once, but it hadn't been used in months because it had turned into a dumping zone. You know the type, shirts you tried on but didn't wear, bags, scarves, unopened mail, half-read books. Just layers and layers of things that didn't belong. I stood there one night, just staring at it. That chair felt like a metaphor for everything. A thing with purpose buried beneath stuff. And something in me snapped. Or maybe it cracked open, slowly. I took every single thing off, folded it, donated it, tossed what needed tossing. Then I sat down and just sat, quiet. That one moment, sitting in a chair I hadn't touched in forever, felt like exhaling after years of holding my breath. It's strange how a chair can change things. But it did. It wasn't just a chair. It was a turning point. Stuff wasn't just stuff. It was my identity. There was something sneaky going on, and I didn't see it right away. I was attaching my identity to my possessions. My books made me feel smart. My wardrobe made me feel put together, even when I barely wore half of it. The gadgets in my kitchen, proof that I was capable of being that kind of cook. The one who preps, plans, and makes dinner look like a magazine shoot. But those things weren't me. Not really. They were versions of who I wanted to be, or who I thought I should be. When I started letting go, a lot of that identity stuff came up. It wasn't just donating a coat. It was letting go of the fantasy version of myself who wore it. That was rough, really rough, but freeing. Because once you let go of the fantasy, you get to build something real. And real is always better than perfect. Always. Minimalism isn't cold. It's warm, actually. People think minimalism is sterile, empty, all white walls and cold furniture. But in my experience, it's the opposite. It's warmth. It's depth. It's space that feels good. Think about it. When you walk into a cluttered room, what do you feel? Your brain starts scanning everything, processing, categorizing, wondering. But when you walk into a room that's open, intentional, and calm, your body relaxes. You breathe easier. That's warmth. That's comfort. Minimalism isn't about less. It's about better. And what's better for me might be different from what's better for you. That's okay. My version of minimalism has throw blankets, plants, candles, wood grain. It's not empty, it's curated. It's not sparse, it's just not drowning. That's the kind of minimalism I fell in love with. One that hugs you, not one that scolds you. The guilt still sneaks in sometimes. Let's not sugarcoat it. Decluttering ain't always easy. And even now, even after all the changes, guilt still sneaks up on me. I'll hold something in my hands and hesitate. This was a gift. This cost a lot. What if I need it later? That little voice comes back, whispering doubts. But I've learned to talk back to it. I remind myself that holding onto guilt won't bring peace. It won't fix the past. It won't suddenly make the item more useful or meaningful. Sometimes we confuse obligation with value. Just because you paid for it doesn't mean it still serves you. Just because someone gave it to you doesn't mean you owe it a permanent place in your home. Letting go doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you're aware. That's a huge shift. And the more you practice it, the easier it gets. Mostly, your home shouldn't be a storage unit. This one hit me like a punch to the gut. At one point, my home stopped being a place to live in and became a storage unit. Seriously, I wasn't living in my home, I was just navigating it. Stepping around boxes, shifting piles, opening closets carefully so things didn't fall out. And worse, I stopped inviting people over. Embarrassed, overwhelmed, exhausted by the thought of tidying up for hours just to make it halfway decent. That wasn't living. That was surviving inside a pile of things I didn't even love. I had to reclaim my space, not just visually but mentally. My home should be a reflection of what I value, not a dumping ground for every impulse buy or half-finished hobby. Once I accepted that truth, I started clearing with purpose, room by room, bag by bag, and each bag out the door felt like getting a little bit of myself back. Little habits make a huge difference. Not gonna lie, this whole lifestyle isn't one giant leap. It's built on tiny choices, daily ones. That's where the real magic is. It's in putting things back right away, taking 5 minutes to reset a room, saying no to a great deal if you don't actually need it, creating drop zones by the door, keeping surfaces mostly clear, deleting duplicate apps, canceling subscriptions you forgot you had. It's all these little habits that add up. And slowly, you realize you're no longer drowning. You're no longer cleaning up the same mess again and again. You're just living, maintaining, flowing. That's the beauty of it. Not the big purge day, but the quiet after. It's not about perfection. Important note here, my house still gets messy. Life happens. Stuff gets dropped. Mail piles up. Shoes land where they don't belong. But the difference now, it doesn't stay messy. It resets. Quickly. Effortlessly. Because there's no excess to wade through. The systems work. The boundaries hold. And I'm no longer aiming for perfection, just peace. If someone pops in unannounced, I don't panic. I might fluff a cushion, move a mug. That's it. No deep clean. No shame. Just welcome. That's all I ever wanted, really. A space that welcomes, not overwhelms. The unexpected joy of owning less. You wouldn't think less stuff would equal more joy. But wow, it does. It really does. There's something deeply satisfying about opening a drawer and knowing exactly what's in it. About walking into a room and not seeing piles. About having fewer choices and yet feeling more content. The paradox is real. Less really is more. More time, more calm, more freedom. You start to realize you don't need as much as you thought. You stop craving things that once felt like necessities. And your priorities? They shift toward experience, connection, rest, all because you made space for it. This isn't just about the house. It's about the life you want. Last thing I'll say is this. It's not really about the house. Not at the core. It's about the kind of life you want. Your home is just the stage for that life. And if the stage is cluttered, chaotic, and full of stuff you don't love. How can the story unfold the way it's meant to? When I cleared the space, I found myself again. I read more. I cook more. I spent time with my kids on the floor without stepping on Legos every 5 seconds. I slept better. I breathed better. And that was worth every bag I hauled out. Every hard choice. Every emotional goodbye. Because what I gained was peace. So if your home feels like it's working against you, like it's more chaos than comfort, maybe it's not about doing more. Maybe it's about doing less but better. At Rustic Pantry, we believe in slow living, intentional spaces, and the quiet magic of clearing room for what truly matters. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more grounded stories, minimalist tips, and a lifestyle that feels like exhale. Until next time, clear the clutter, keep the calm.